Mike Stott and
Cammie Strickland,
our wonderful board president. And by the way, if you guys have not had the pleasure of working with her, she's one of the most gracious, thorough, and responsible realtors you'll find out there, as I know most of us are, if not all of us, because we serve our communities, we protect private property rights, and we elevate our profession. And it's really been interesting in this political season because I'm on the RPAC chair and I'm on a couple of state committees that are doing this. It's really interesting talking to politicians about their thoughts about real estate. What I hear is we want slow growth or no growth or conscientious growth or a plan, and nobody looks at the reality of what's really happened over the last 20 years. So our elected candidate officials, I'm trying to get a debate done or put together, and none of them are replying. They don't want to debate this year. So we're trying with RPAC. Your funds for RPAC are really going to help, and we actually have an opportunity for you to help with RPAC and a little bit towards the end of this. But as always, we're reporting. It's August 6th today. I downloaded all the numbers the end of August 4th. As we know, with real estate agents, I can only get what was put into FMLS, and so if you didn't put it in by the 3rd or the 4th, it's not going to show up in these statistics. So as you're redoing the statistics on your own, they may be a little different, but it gives us a good snapshot as to what's actually happening. Good news, we have 1,375 active listings. It's down 8 from last month. We have 195 asking over $1 million. That's 15% of them. And 20 of them closed, which gives us almost a 10-month months of remaining inventory, which is a fairly strong buyer's market. 63 days on market. I actually have a client that's looking in the $1 million to $1.8 million range, and so thanks to all of you that have made it very easy to show your properties. There's some nice ones out there. She's just waiting for a cyber coin deal to come through. 900,000 to $1 million seems to be almost as bad as under 300,000. We have 48 active and only 12 sales. 800 to 900, we had 83 active and 9 sales. So really, it's sort of interesting. We had as many sales over $1 million as we did between 800,000 and $1 million. 700,000 to 800,000, we had a fair number of sales. 600 to 700, we had some more. 500 to 600, we had 66 sales. 400 to 500, we had 83 sales. 300 to 400, we had 64 sales. So if you're looking at a sweet spot, it's going to be, probably 350 to 750. And then under 300,000, we have 40 active, of which 16 are attached homes, and 14 sales, which is sort of interesting. Most of the ones that are move-in ready are well below 1,000 square feet in size. We have 13 that are self-identified as fixer-uppers, meaning they say they're investor specials or they say fixer-uppers. I used to in Hawaii when I would, we used to have open houses and you'd put ads because the MLS wasn't there. I used to say, woof woof, this dog really barks at you and it will chase you down the street. There are some fixer-uppers out there. Here's what's interesting. Our median price last month, you'll see, went up to $505, which is great news. And if we look at what's under contract, the median price for 3/4 of them is $525, and for the other quarter of them, it's $550. So I suspect our median price is going to go up again in September as we do August statistics. If we look at the number of sales, oops, I skipped 2 of them, went up to 505 for the year. We're down in price 2.74%, but the 505 is higher than we've seen in any of the last 10 years, which is sort of nice. But if you look at August of last year, it jumped up to 515. I think we're going to be about the same level. Number of sales, 337. Lowest number of sales for July in the last 10 years.
Yikes.
I mean, so, prices are up a little. They're up at a nice level. The average commission check is going to be somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000 a check. When I first got into the business, I had many, many checks that were below $3,000, and that's before the split with the company or anything else. So if you really look, the number of sales are up a little this year, but we're nowhere near the pre-pandemic level or even during the pandemic level. So what's disconcerting to me, and I don't know how to account for it other than in 2012 we had 237,000 people living. In 2025 we had 293,000. It's like 2.7 people live per house. We should have 13,000 more houses. If they moved every 13 years, we should have 1,000 more sales, which should be about 75 to 80 more sales a month than we did back then, and we have fewer sales per month. Why is that? And if you want to explain it to your sellers, a couple of things. One is a lot of people lived through the Great Depression when home values declined from 2007 to 2011 and then took till 2014 or 16 to recover. And then we had the super low interest rates and people were just stuck. I'm not moving my house. I have a 2.625% mortgage rate. Why would I buy a different house and take a 6.5% mortgage rate? I don't know. I mean, do you have any plans of moving? Your house is big for you.
No, it's really not, because I've got
daughters and
people
friends
still living there. So no, I have no reason to go anywhere. It's fine for us right now, and as they move on, then at some point I may.
But the interest rate that you have now versus what you could get is a big consideration.
Well, and we bought before everything skyrocketed. Okay. So we got a good
You have a small mortgage.
Did you
refinance it anywhere along the way?
No. Okay. We didn't have to. So it's a big house, small payment.
Yeah. And in that slum, I think you call it the hood, right? Bridge Mill.
Yeah.
It's down. They do rap songs about Bridge Mill. So, but no, seriously, we're having a little bit of fun here. But you need to be able to speak intelligently with your clients about what's going on. Median age for a first-time home buyer is now 40. Median age for a repeat buyer is now 60.
Yeah.
So if you really think about it, what happens is a whole generation, 10 to 15 years of buyers lived through what their parents went through and decided to rent. And then during that same time, the prices went up so high, it's harder for them to save the down payment or earn the income to be able to afford a house.
Exactly. That's why we have our situation.
Yes. Well,
why go waste that money when we could be saving it?
Yeah. And I started an article, I don't know if I mentioned it last month, how to get your kids to move, your adult children to move out of your basement. It's going to be a bestseller because I have adult children living with me, and in many ways it's great. I enjoy her. I have fun. She's better company for my wife than I am oftentimes, and she has two grandchildren that I get to spend a lot of time with that I really enjoy. All that being said, she's not building wealth. She's not building equity for her own self as she moves forward. For those of us that are visual, if we look at the 2025 line, last month I predicted it was going to head up to about here. I was right. I think next month we're going to see us be somewhere, maybe all the way back here again, but certainly somewhere around this area if everything closes as they should. I have this chart going back to 2017, but I think next month I'm just going to start with 2022 on, because that's sort of the end of the pandemic at this point, and so we're moving into a different cycle. But you can see pre-2022 it was pretty much sort of a straight line up for many months. Over time, it tends to be a small hill because of the summer buying season. Last month, I don't know what happened, but if we factor out last month, I think we're going back to sort of a normal buying season. If you factor out the one weird month in 2025, we're up and then down, sort of an interesting cycle historically. However, we can't predict the future. All we can do is tell our clients what do we think is going to happen. My favorite question right now is prices have gone up from 2016 to 2026 every year. How long do you think it's going to continue rising? Forever. It's never going to stop. It's never going to come down again. And so how do we convince people to sell and move and do the things they need to move is what do you think the market cycle is going to do? Using the Georgia Association of Realtor statistics, rolling 12-month average, you can see, the state of Georgia is the yellow line. It's gone relatively flat. And the blue line is Cherokee County. And really since, the middle of 2024, virtually no change on either side, townhouses, condos, or single family in terms of prices. And townhouses and condos have gone down a little. Single family houses have probably gone up a little. This is a month behind our data, so next month when we do it, it will reflect the 505 average, but it's a rolling 12-month average, so it doesn't go up all that much. For rent, those of you that said, well, we'll just rent instead, median rental closed at $2,400 for a single family in Cherokee County last month, and $2,795 for an attached home. Now, interestingly enough, what this does is this shows with a small number of closings, 11 rentals, one at $3,850 raises the actual price by about $370 per month. So this figure should be lower, except for something, a 4-bedroom, 3-bath attached home somewhere rented for a higher number. So always when you're looking at statistics, if we have a low number, look for a variable that might affect it greatly. Once you get above about 30, the numbers tend to work themselves out. But the N in statistical purposes tends to be 20 to 30, depending on what subgroup you're looking at. I like to use 30. 11 is too low. You can just look, what does the average 3-bedroom, 2-bath rent for? $2,500, and the max was there. This is the National Association of Realtors. I wanted to show you, one of the member benefits you get by being a board member is you can access the National Association of Realtors statistics. I sort of clamor to go to the DC meeting and to our annual meetings for the state because I get to hear Lawrence Yoon or Jessica Laus speak.
They're so good.
As a numbers freak, I love the numbers. Lawrence Yoon, although he was wrong, he predicted that would be somewhere around 4.5 to 4.5 million, and we're going to be at 4.1 million. It's actually, if we go back to last year at this time, it's just about the same number of sales, and he predicted we were going to have a 10% higher number of sales. The peak was probably in 2020, 2021, we had 6 million sales. So there's a third fewer sales, which we've certainly seen reflected in Cherokee County. The median home price, though, has continued to rise slightly, primarily because of supply and demand. We have more people wanting to buy than we have homes available for sale. The challenge is the new homes coming on the market are not what people want to buy. If our median price is $500,000, what are we building in the community? And so who's buying our more expensive homes? People coming in from out of town, people that owned properties in their life situation have changed where they can afford a bigger, nicer, newer house. That's, Cami works a lot with the new homes and the luxury home division more than I do. Who's buying those homes?
Yeah, you're right. It's people coming from out of the area,
Right.
And it's still a bargain for them from where they're coming from.
When I came here from Hawaii 20 years ago, the price I sold my 2,600 square foot house on an 8,000 square foot lot was $200,000 more than buying a 10,000 square foot home on an acre lot. So the house was as big as my home and lot was put together.
Yeah.
And the thing, and it was a monstrosity. It wasn't how I wanted to live. I now live in a 3,200 square foot house, which fits me great. And I wasn't in Cherokee County, which is my peeps in Cherokee County. But if you look at the price, this shows the seasonality. Remember I talked about, you can look, the 6th of each year or the 8th is going to be the highest price over the year. And so that's the seasonality of home sales. Nowhere near the seasonality of, say, beach communities in Florida, because you have the snowbirds coming down and buying things. Existing sale home median price, if we really look, annualized, it's about 1.8%, about 2%. I threw this slide in because I found it very interesting. The South accounts for 46% of all the sales in the country.
Wow.
And so we have the Midwest, the West, and the Northeast, and those three together are just 8 percentage points higher than what the South is doing. So you're living in the right area. Things are happening here. Why are they happening? Because people are moving here for industry, for weather, to be, really, honestly, they like camping and they want to be.
I am available and single, so
Yes.
they're just flocking in.
Yes,
I know
they're
that's
flocking.
what it is.
There you go. Unfortunately, they tend to be 70-year-old men.
Well, you know, if you can move around, that's all right.
Okay, so looking, and also at NAR, they have some great statistics, and this is based on the 2023 survey, the population survey that they did. It's called a census. I finally got the brain fart moment. I did turn 64 yesterday, so I'm allowed to have brain farts officially. But if we look in the Atlanta, Sandy Springs metropolitan area, which includes the 14 counties that are around them, including Cherokee County, about half the buyers were Caucasian, about 30% were black, and about 10% were Asian and Hispanic. The largest percentage, about 30%, are 35 to 44, which is the median first-time sales price. But the next two was 25 to 34, and then 46 to 54. In fact, if you add up 25 to 54, it's almost 75% of the buyers that are out there. So those of you that are looking for a demographic, that might be what you want to do. Male versus female, almost 50-50 in terms of who is buying. About 80% are single family houses, 12% single family detached, and 0.2% apartments, which I think is higher in Atlanta, be lower than us because we don't have many apartments for sale. And mobile homes account for 1.7%.
But I have to interject here because I know this is 2023,
right, so
but Lawrence Yun or Jessica, one of them, came out and said that today it's more women are buying. So
absolutely,
go girls.
More single women buy than single men. She identified one of the key things is talk to single men and tell them why are the women smarter than the men are, single men. But if you really look here, living alone male was 9.2% of the household types, and living alone female was 13%. And this is not all home buyers. This is just all people that are in the community. Median age in our area is 43 years old. Average income $113,000. So if you have a 2-income family or a 1-income high earner and they're saying they can't afford to buy, this is what people were actually buying 3 years ago. And I showed you interest rates have gone up in the last 3 years, but the prices have only gone up 4 to 5% over the last 3 years. So I think their wages have probably gone up. If you look at income and education, there's some other interesting things, but 80% of the buyers are going to be financing their home. I highly recommend, before you put a buyer in your car, take one of our affiliate partners and get them pre-qualified through one of our affiliate lenders. We have just great lenders. There's so many great lenders, I feel bad I can't use them all.
I know, right?
I mean, I love them all,
yes.
And I end up using 2 or 3 of them a year just because I have a relationship with them. Right. And so build a relationship with a lender. Use one of our affiliate partners. They're willing to invest in your success through the Association of Realtors. Karen Cunningham's not here today, but I'm going to become Karen. Hi! No. I would love you all to come on August 19th, which is going to be a week and a half from when you all receive this. We have our yearly charity pitch battle. This is something that we as an association adopted from the National Association of Realtors. We put $2,500 out there. We're going to have 5 great people there, the Veterans, the Homeless Coalition, the Never Alone Food Pantry, Children's Haven, which works a lot with foster families or families that are trying to avoid going into the foster care system. I love them. And then Rough Redemption, where I actually got my dog from. It is from Rough Redemption. I wish Billy was here today, but I had doctor's appointments and things. But these are great. And what you'll have the opportunity to do, I always go, each one of them are going to have a QR code or some way to donate. I usually give like $25 to each of them. If we had 100 people doing that, they'd all walk away with $2,500. And then the winner gets $2,500. Everybody that was nominated, by the way, will receive something in a nice letter. So I think we had 19 or 25 people nominated. And if you come across a great charity, here's what I want you to do. Here in Cherokee County, you find a great charity, just mark in your calendar next February to submit them for next year's.
Right.
There, just we have our calendars. Just get on your phone, go to February 22nd, and put nominate for the charity pitch battle.
Right.
And next year our president's going to be
Natalia Hunter with Atlanta Communities.
another force of nature, great agent, everything else. And she will be hosting this next year. And so just get it in. I think I'm still on the board of directors next year. I know Cammie will be.
Yes.
Let us know. We'd love to have your favorite charities involved. By the way, this gives you a tremendous opportunity to stay in touch with your past clients. You can tell them that we're doing this. You can tell them that we're there and who won. And then you can say, hey, do you know a charity that you'd like us to support next year? You have 3 contacts where you're not saying, who do you know that wants to buy or sell? I was with Mike Ferry for years. That's the script. We also have the funnest event of the year.
I'm so excited about this.
It's going to be a 90s open house party. Cammie will personally vouch for the band. They're awesome.
Yes, yes.
And we're going to have some barbecue. You're going to get a drink from Reformation Brewery. It's going to be 5 to 8. And there's going to be gift baskets or not gift baskets.
No, you're
auction
getting wrong
baskets.
impression.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you a crayon if you show up. And we have room for like 300 people. I think we've sold about a third of that so far. Tickets are $50. They go up after August 15th. So get your tickets now. They go up to $60. It's going to be a great night. Idea for you: invite some of your past clients that like music, that you haven't been in touch with, that you would like to sit and chat with while we're having this party. And by the way, this goes towards your RPAC donation.
Yay.
So, I think I bought 6 or 8 tickets. I'm going to bring some of my family members, and I have a client that he just loves 90s music. And I haven't heard this band, but I as a singer, I'm loud. And we're going to do a special event. Cammie doesn't know this yet, but if you put in like $10, Cammie will have to get up and sing, unless we get like $500, and then she won't have to sing.
I will donate that $500.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Oh well, I guarantee you they would want to hear you more than they want to hear me.
No.
That's it. We had special guest Cammie here today, your current board president. She's doing a fantastic job. She's made some key updates and changes to the way the whole board of directors operates. It makes us all happy. She's worked very well with Karen and Shannon and
Ashley.
I'm having another brain moment. This year we're having fun. We have 2 big events coming up. We also have, if you're going to be in New Orleans for the state association meeting, find us. Cherokee out. We'd like to take you to dinner or buy you a drink or something while you're there. So let us know. As always, if you like everything, let Cammie know. And if you have any questions or concerns and you're not happy with it, Mike.Stott@mac.com. You guys are the best. Go out and serve the public and show them how great a real estate professional can be.